Hello, modding friends and colleagues. I have heeded your advice, and I have changed the background music to be less obnoxious, and I have also filmed in the daytime, because it was actually a really dumb idea to film in the nighttime. So now it's very easy to see everything here. Alright, so fair warning, this video is going to be a bit rambly, because I didn't actually accomplish a whole lot this week. Well, I mean, I worked a lot, I don't have a lot to show for it, because it was all like learning how to do things. So, basically, all I got working was some jars, specifically these jars. If you remember in the last update, which I will link in a card in the top right if you didn't see it, ore and stone came out of the macerator as dust before it went into the furnace. Each ore dust, as well as potassium, niter, and phosphorus, now have their own individual model. Now you can see what's what. Unfortunately, most ores on the planet are gray, so it's not super easy to tell the difference, but I did try to make them as different as possible so it's easy to see them at a glance. Also, the dusts look a little more like dust than the ore do. They're a little finer, that you can see. Now the reason this bullshit took as long as it did is this. All of these textures for every single one of these jars put together is about 900 kilobytes total. Now that's because I tried, and I succeeded to learn how Bethesda makes their ingots. Now it turns out silver, steel, lead, and gold, and all the other ingots except for copper is the only odd one out in this equation, they all use the exact same texture. If you look at these, you can actually see that they have all got scratches in the exact same place, and they shine in the same place, and they've got those dents and everything. They're all the same, but copper is a bit different. It uses a completely different texture. The reason for that, I don't know. But, yeah, the way Bethesda does it is they didn't actually make a separate texture for each of these ingots. Instead what they did was they changed the color of the actual mesh using something called vertex colors, which is something I could do in Blender, my modeling program. The way I convert meshes using Body Slide, as you can see in a tutorial, I guess, if you want to watch that, Body Slide doesn't have support for vertex colors. It took me a really long time to figure out why the colors of the ingots were different from each other, because if you look at them in Nifscope, they're almost exactly the same. They all have the same settings and everything. There's like one different texture, which is a cube map, but the main thing that changes the color of all of these is the vertex color. And vertex coloring was something I just could not do in Blender, so I conscripted somebody from the Nexus to convert things for me in 3ds Max. I would have probably downloaded the student version of 3ds Max, but this is the only time I'll ever need vertex coloring, so I just didn't bother. But the bonus to this is it makes the textures, I can just use one texture for things that look totally different. So all of these, very small. And the only thing I needed to create was new meshes, which are like 5 kilobytes, and new cube maps. Actually, I didn't even need to make new cube maps, but assuming I did, that would have also been only like a couple kilobytes, maybe not even a couple kilobytes. So you're welcome, Xbox users. I reduced your file size by about 10 megabytes. But yeah, as I was saying, it took me a really long time to figure out how I was doing this. Eventually I got it working, but that's pretty much all I got done this week. So I made the jars look real nice, and after a whole bunch of dickering with vertex colors and cube maps, and apparently you can't make custom cube maps. Bethesda, I'm pretty sure, has a predetermined set number of cube maps. You can only use the ones that are already in the game. So I tried making like a custom gold cube map and that kind of thing, or custom silver, but it didn't work. So I just ended up having to use the ones that were already in the game. But yeah, I sat there for so long trying to figure out why this wasn't working, and I eventually ended up asking the guy who created Body Slide, and he was a really great guy, and he helped me out and helped me figure things out, and told me that Body Slide didn't have vertex coloring support, so that's why I went and got somebody else to help me out. So yeah, that's it. I've got some great meshes that show you what dust is in what jar coming out of the macerator. And no fancy machines, no mining machine yet that I can show you a new custom mesh of. No weapons, no crazy new farming system, but Genos has been hard at work on creating a few new features that I can show you next week, but right now all we've got is the script to show for that, so I don't really want to just spend some time sending you guys text files of the scripts, because that would be really boring to watch. So for now, all you've got is this. You've got daytime, you've got jars, and you've got noisy ass machines. Also, my girlfriend and I got Pokemon Sun and Moon, and we've been playing that far too much, so that also may have contributed some slow development time. But you know what? I gotta have my relaxation time, okay? I gotta play my Pokemons. Pokemon Sun and Moon is actually really fun, by the way. If you used to play Pokemon but you don't anymore, I would definitely recommend it. Anyway, the more time I work on this video here, the less time I have to work on the new things that I want to create, one of which is solar panels, and the other of which is a shipping box that I want to make for trading between settlements. Your settlements and other people's settlements, by the way. So I'm gonna cut this off here and bid you all adieu, and you have your beautiful self a great rest of your week. Later days.